Hello, Sydney. Your favorite killer is back, and today we're continuing Sherlock Holmes versus Arsene Lupin. So we arrived at Buckingham's palace. Seems totally royal. Okay, let's go.
Mr. Holmes, the Prime Minister is in the White Room on your right, at the end of the hall. His orders...
Great.
Closed.
Okay, obviously no need to inspect other rooms when we can't enter.
It would be considered an act of treason to enter without having...
So here.
Leave me. I don't want to see anyone. In any case...
He said
Closed.
door on right. Is he fucking shitting me? You gotta be shitting me.
Ah, what good fortune! Here are Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. Enter, gentlemen.
If the Prime Minister will permit, will the gentleman be joining you for breakfast?
No, thank you. We have already eaten, and we are pressed for time.
Upon reading your letter, gentlemen, I understood that the request for an audience with Her Majesty had something to do with the burglar on the loose in London. I reacted immediately, even though I am unaware what the target of the next theft is. I also did all within my power to optimize the security surrounding Her Majesty. That is to say, absolutely nothing.
What?
Indeed, my power is non-existent once the threshold of these walls is crossed, and I've run up against an insurmountable obstacle regarding how to set up the security system surrounding Her Majesty. Her Majesty herself.
Have you at least explained to her?
She didn't even deign to receive me. Her Majesty is in a miserable mood for some reason or another, and is refusing an audience to anyone. Despite everything, I'm staying here. If it proves that she changes her mind and rules the affairs of the country from this room. All of my councillors are at the four corners of London to represent me. I even have one in the Chamber of Lords to see if Parliament can oblige Her Majesty to receive me.
This could take days, and we don't have days.
It's the best that I can do. So, Holmes, what can this Frenchman be after?
I'm not certain, but I believe that it has to do with Her Majesty herself. He will likely approach her, perhaps even be within earshot.
That is out of the question. We cannot take that risk.
Of course, we must prevent him. Tell me, what is the odour emanating from the stain at the bottom of your trousers?
Oh, that. It's Robilar, Her Majesty's companion's dog. Leamunda is adorable, but her dog is devilish. I arrived early this morning and dozed off on the divan. This abject creature woke me up in his own way. Watch out for this little demon. He has access to the whole palace and hates everyone. I've sent for another pair of trousers, but I have the impression that they'll never arrive.
Is there anything that we can do, Prime Minister?
You most certainly can. Find me some trousers without further delay and convey the letters. The addresses where they were dropped off are marked on the envelopes. A coach can be found in front of the palace. It's at your disposition.
Very well.
My dear Watson, you've become a public official of the nation. I won't join you despite the prestige, as there may yet be a way to dispel Her Majesty's bad mood, and gaining some precious time in doing so.
Good luck, Holmes. I will return to my work and await the blessed moment. Tell me, Watson, what are you waiting for? A royal escort?
Pardon me, Prime Minister. Could I trouble you to borrow your glasses?
Beg pardon? My glasses? Later, Holmes. I have...
Excuse me.
Chauncey, sir, at your service.
Here, I understand that Her Majesty is cantankerous today. Would you happen to know why?
I'm sorry, but I am not authorized to comment on Her Majesty's moods. In fact, no one is.
Be advised, it isn't idle curiosity that compels me to ask this question. The reason that I, Sherlock Holmes, the great English detective, is here as well as the Prime Minister is because Her Majesty is in grave danger. The danger is imminent, instigated by a man of Machiavellian twisted tendencies who is deprived of all sense of morals and scruples. Furthermore, he is French.
French?
Indeed, and all men who will have worked to protect Her Majesty in the face of this peril from across the Channel shall be seen as true patriots, a soldier in the image of the valorous English warriors who, weapons in hand, struck down Napoleon. Go, my friend, join our forces and march alongside. Now speak.
The facts are that Her Majesty quarrelled with her companion and confidant, Lady Leomunda. The dispute concerned a gift that Her Majesty gave to Leomunda.
What was the gift that Her Majesty gave to her companion?
A doll's house. Lady Leomunda's personal chef and servant girl were terminated immediately, but the affair wasn't settled for Her Majesty, and the two have not yet reconciled. I don't know anything further.
Perhaps I could speak to Lady Leomunda?
She, too, is refusing to receive visitors.
Thank you, my friend.
Lord Robillard categorically refused the breakfast that I brought. That has put him in a rotten mood also, and Lady Leomunda is in a state.
This is the worst that could happen. I've just thrown the remainder of his meal into the refuse. Impossible to remake it. Deirdre, go to the butcher's and get something raw. Demons seem to love blood.
Now, tell me, what is so special about Lord Robillard's food?
Indeed, I don't know, but he doesn't accept anything but. I would pay dearly to know the recipe. I believe that it contains chocolate.
Thank you, my friend.
If you will permit me to withdraw, sir.
I must prepare Lord Robillard's, that is, Lady Leomunda's dog's meal. Marinated anchovies. I must know which ingredients to use. This may prove to be useful. Mustard prepared with vinegar. I must know which ingredients to use. Woodland strawberry jam. I must know which ingredients to use. To the side, a strange mix can be found that was recently put there. I recognize the color to figure out the composition of this mixture. Sausages. I must know which ingredients to use. Swiss chocolate from Romandy. Ah, this must surely be the recipe for the dog's food. Jamaican bananas. I must know which ingredients to use. Empty. To the side, a strange mix can be found that was to figure out the composition. Elementary. To the side, a strange mix can be found that was recently put there. I recognize the color of certain foods. To figure out the composition of this mixture, I will need a powerful magnification. To the side, a strange mix can... To figure out the composition of this... There is something here. Phew, what a foul odor. There is something here. Phew, what a foul odor. There is something here. Phew, what a foul odor. There is something here. Phew, what a foul odor. Sausages. Sausages. Jamaican bananas. Closed.
Later, Holmes.
Closed.
Calm down, my lord, calm down.
The damsel wouldn't open her door for anything but her dog's breakfast.
But you aren't Deirdre.
Your powers of observation are stunning, my lady. Indeed, I am not Deirdre. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am...
The new cook.
Not quite. Firstly, where can I place this meal?
Put me lord's breakfast at the foot of his bed. But, oh, I can't let an unknown person into my chamber. Good God, what will happen to me?
Nothing serious, my lady. In fact, I'm here to help you.
How do you know that I am in need of help? Help from a tall, distinguished man with a very long nose.
My lady, my flair for detection has nothing to do with the size of my nose. As for the help that I intend to provide, it solely concerns the dispute between yourself and Her Majesty.
Oh, don't talk of that. She will no longer speak to me. It's not even my fault. Oh, no.
Why does Her Majesty reproach you?
3 days ago, she gave me the lovely dollhouse that you see there. It was made specifically for me by the royal cabinet maker. It's magnificent, isn't it?
Indeed, the little candles in the chandeliers emphasize the lovely colouring of the dolls.
Yesterday, she came to see me in my chamber and noticed that 4 of the dolls were missing from the house. I wasn't even aware, but Deirdre, who had wrapped it, confirmed the fact. These dolls are precious, and Her Majesty, was angry and told me that I didn't take care of the gifts that she gave me. I questioned my staff, my maid and my cook, to no avail. I had them fired and thought that would suffice for Her Majesty, but no.
What do the dolls look like?
I don't even know. All I know is that there are 4 less boys than girls in the dollhouse.
Please calm yourself, my lady. I will see what I can do.
Oh, many thanks, sir. Thank you. If you find them, you will be handsomely rewarded.
Save your gratitude for when I have solved the case. Closed. It would be considered an act of...
How can I be of service, sir?
Tell me, Deirdre, you were in charge of wrapping the dollhouse that Her Majesty presented to Lady Leomunda. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you swore to Her Majesty that certain dolls were missing. Do you remember which they were?
Not exactly, sir. But I must say that when I recounted the dolls and noticed some were missing, I found that there were much less with ginger hair than before.
Thank you, Deirdre. Goodbye. Closed.
Thank you for the new pants, Chauncey. Holmes, my glasses, if you would. Are you finished with them, and were they of any use?
Here they are, sir. Indeed, I needed them to prepare a rather horrid mixture which is adored by the most temperamental lodger in the palace.
If the Prime Minister will permit, I would like to thank Mr. Holmes for saving us from Lord Robilar's wrath. If Mr. Holmes would happen to remember the ingredients for the mixture...
Truly, Holmes, I owe you my thanks. I had more than enough of listening to the howls of that However, I knew him as a pup. He was very gentle, nothing like the tyrant that he has become.
What provoked this change of temperament?
I haven't the least idea. Chauncey?
It seems to me that the fluctuations in my lord's mood began 3 years ago, after a visit of my lady's nephew, the young Lord Gwenders of Crudel.
Ah, yes, that angelic little redhead.
What happened at the time?
My lady was so happy to see her nephew that she ignored my lord during the week that Lord Gwenders was here. My lord roamed alone from room to room, he who was so used to having my lady's complete attention. And the day came when...
I remember. The yappy little thing was completely out of hand, or rather out of paw, trying to separate Lady Leomunda from her dear nephew, without success.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question for Mr. Chauncey. Tell me, my friend, did you notice Lord Robilar engaging in any strange behaviour in the past 3 days?
Other than the Prime Minister's pants, nothing more than usual, sir. But I don't notice everything.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So, Holmes?
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm aware that you're on duty, but I am on a special assignment in the service of Lady Leomunda. She entrusted me with a specific investigation, and I must question you both. Please note, in the case of a successful outcome, she has promised her gratitude to all those who have helped. She specifically mentioned that her gratitude would extend to...
At your service, sir. At your service, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. I do believe that Lady Leomunda's companion, the pint-sized Lord Robilar, has access to all of the rooms and halls of the palace. Now, would you have seen him acting erratically these last few days? Say, in the past 3 days?
Yesterday, my lord piddled in my boots.
No, I was referring to events clearly out of the ordinary.
The day before yesterday, while we were on duty, my lord was rummaging about behind this suit of armour. When I bent over to see what he'd found, my bearskin fell, and my lord attacked it, and near tore it to pieces.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I have no reason to go there.
What?
This hole is dark and seems quite deep. I must find a way to see what's inside. This hole is dark and seems
Shut
quite
up.
deep.
Sir?
My apologies for interrupting you in the midst of your duties. Would you have witnessed Lord...
Oh, my lord is a bit waggish and makes strange around people he isn't familiar with.
You must know him well. Has he added a new trick to his repertoire?
Why, yes. Now that I think of it, my lord usually has a right fear of chimneys because of the fire. However, yesterday morning, I found him with his paws and his snout full of ashes. The fire in the white drawing room was almost out. I cleaned him as quickly as possible, despite his protestations.
Thank you, Deirdre. Goodbye.
Closed. Closed.
Yes, I am listening. I'm all...
My lady, I must press you further. Have you noticed any strange behaviour from Lord Robillard these last few days?
Why do you ask such a question? Oh, I see. You think that my little lord picked up the scent of the robber and wanted to warn me. I was so blind. Oh, my sweet lovey-dovey.
Indeed, that is one possibility.
Well, I seem to remember Lord rummaging in the garment chest that you see over there in the corner. He isn't supposed to go near it, as it contains ceremonial garments that I never wear, and it is very dusty. In addition, only my personal maid is capable of opening it, and that's in order to air it out from time to time, but I dismissed her.
Why is it complicated to open?
I decorated it myself, but it dates from Henry VIII, you know. He of the cupbearers, the maniac for security, blah, blah, blah. If you try to open it, don't ruin it, please.
I promise, my lady. Thank you. I must leave you, my lady.
My door...
This piece is actually a puzzle, and all the pieces detach easily. No, one will suffice. One must insert a star here to unlock the open. One must insert a star here to unlock. Elementary. Best to keep my discovery a secret for the moment. If the dog got his paws back on this doll, who...
Easy.
No, one will suffice. No, one will suffice. Water. Water.
Yes, I am listening.
Closed. It would be considered an act of
Oh,
treason.
I know. What? This is new.
This may prove to be useful. I need something. This hole is dark and seems quite deep. think I can make out the reflection of a porcelain face. This spear could be useful, but in order to recover the doll with... I need something. I think I can make out the reflection.
Okay, anything useful here?
Sir?
Thank you, Deirdre. Goodbye.
Closed. A pile of ashes to the side. I can see what seems to be a miniature hand coming out. It will take hours for the fire to extinguish, and pouring water over it will fill the whole palace with smoke. I must find a tool to get the doll out of there.
Okay, that was easy.
Excuse me, would there be a clamp hereabouts?
Hold on. It just so happens that my cousin, one of the royal plumbers, came here yesterday to take care of Lady Leamunda's pipes, and he forgot one.
Lady Leamunda's pipes?
I meant to say the plumbing of the bathtub in Lady Leamunda's room, sir.
What's wrong with the bathtub?
It no longer drains, sir. Normally the water drains in no time once the stopper is removed. In fact, with the force of the water, there are occasionally a few pink bubbles or even some hair that rise into the kitchen sink.
Do you know when your cousin will return?
He said it will take 2 days in order to insert a custom-built auger to unclog the pipe, sir. My lady's maid told him that she saw my lord coming out of the empty bathtub. He would only have left 1 or 2 long hairs, if any.
Unless it was something else. Thank you, Chauncey.
My pleasure, sir.
Here's what I've been looking for.
Perfect.
Nailed.
Now on to the next step.
Weren't there 4 missing, not 3 missing?
Yes, I am listening.
The fuck?
So, Holmes? So, Holmes, any pro...
Sir?
Could you please clean this doll?
Certainly, sir.
Thank you.
At your service, sir.
Nailed it. Okay, let's see now.
Yes, I...
Shit.
Closed. Closed.
So, Holmes, any...
Okay.
There is something here.
Oh, 4 doll.
Water. Water. There. All of Lady Leamunda's bathwater is still in the... It is far too heavy. I cannot lift it. No, I need someone stronger. No, I can't ask him to lift the
Oh,
barrel.
these 2 faggots.
Listen, can you help me shift a barrel?
At your service, sir.
elementary.
Yes, sir?
Empty.
Okay, why they have to empty the barrel? Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it.
Why, these are my dolls.
Indeed, my lady, here they are. 2 are somewhat damp, but they are all completely intact. In the future, for their own safety, put them up high or lock them up. You should also consider rehiring your servants, as they weren't to blame for the dolls.
Thank you, sir. You are a savior. How can I ever repay you?
There is a way. You can use your influence with Her Majesty to ensure an audience for myself as soon as possible. Here's my card.
Certainly, sir. I will go straight away to beg her pardon, and I propose that you return this evening. That will give me enough time to improve her mood and deign to receive you.
Many thanks, my lady.
Later.
Surely you aren't telling me that you had to rummage through a waste bin in order to find the leftovers from an infernal...
My lord, my dear Watson, within these walls you must say my lord.
I wonder if you aren't mocking me, Holmes. I find it hard to believe that Her Majesty enjoys living in an environment so queer.
What do you know of our monarch, Watson? What do we really know?
Mr. Holmes, the Prime Minister is in the White Room on your right, at the end of the hall. His orders were that you should be shown in immediately.
The rug was wet in a number of spots. I don't recall having wet it while emptying the bar. The rug was wet in a number of spots. The rug was wet in a number of
Suspicious.
It would be considered an act of...
What?
Closed.
Good evening, gentlemen. Well done yet again, Holmes. The reconciliation between Her Majesty and Lady Leamunda has had a wonderful effect, and we shall be received momentarily.
Is Her Majesty safe?
She is in her chamber, and the palace as well as the gardens are crawling with guards. Did you notice all of the checkpoints on the way here? An army couldn't get to her.
You'll have to excuse me for a moment.
So, Holmes... Closed.
Closed?
Closed.
It would be considered an act...
We're on duty, sir. We don't have the...
I have no reason to go there.
Has something come up?
Can you assist me, my good man?
Does his lordship wish to inspect another refuse bin?
Why is the carpet in the hall wet?
On account of a gift that Her Majesty received from Lady Leamunda, it was soaked and water was dripping from it for the duration of its carriage.
What did it consist of?
I haven't the least idea. The object was wrapped.
Thank you, Chauncey. Her Majesty and yourself are finally reconciled?
Ah, yes. And all thanks to you. I explained to her that you desired an audience, and she has granted your request. She will receive you and the Prime Minister, but she will not tarry by calling for Chauncey to fetch you.
Forgive me, my lady, but I just learned that you offered a gift to Her Majesty.
Yes, I wanted to present Her Majesty with a gift to thank her for the dollhouse. But what a tragedy. It mustn't work any longer. Those nitwit workers dropped it in the moat and had the dickens of a time getting it out. They were so endearing that I couldn't be angry. And it's true that it's quite heavy.
If you would tell me, my lady, what is the nature of the gift that you presented to Her Majesty?
Well, it's a very rare piece, but I have to admit I don't know much about it. I enjoyed frequenting the shops, and a very lovely antiquarian approached me and drew my attention to this masterpiece, as he called it. Oh, he knew what he was talking about, and his manners were so...
But the masterpiece, what was it exactly, my lady?
Well, as Her Majesty's watch was broken, I wanted to give her something to tell the time. Thus, I bought her this clock, which she gladly took to her chamber. You know, a French grandfather clock. Pomtoise, or was it comptoise? The antique dealer said it was made by one of the originators of the genre, the Paillet brothers.
Wait, my lady, that name suggests something to me. Could it be... Mayet?
Yes, that's it. How did you know?
Watson, Prime Minister, quick, sound the alarm. Lupin is in the Queen's chamber.
Interesting.
What made me accept this infernal contraption? Tomorrow I will have it carved into kindling for the fire.
If Her Majesty will permit, I would rather avoid risking death yet again in what Her Majesty calls this infernal contraption. I was able to hold my breath long enough to avoid drowning, but that wouldn't help me against...
The hangman?
Your Majesty understands well. My fate is entirely in your hands, like so many others. My intentions are not hostile. In fact, they are quite the contrary.
They are what, then?
Many times I have found myself in a similar situation, and the words came naturally, because they flow from my spirit, which has fain been called poetic, lyric, and imaginative. Words. Nothing but words and rhetoric, often to an end above reproach. I stand before you, after having risked my life, and still risking it in what I had until now only considered a game. The words won't come to me because the game is over. The words that I should say to you won't come because they are buried deep. These fragile words that are frightened of emerging, these words that come from the heart. The words that I know I owe you, Your Majesty, my Queen, my love.
Believe me, madame, if I was to steal something, it would only be a kiss.
You won't be stealing anything. I will give you a kiss willingly.
Open up, Your Majesty!
Is all well, Your Grace?
Break down the door!
Your subjects are there, and so ends my gallant game, and, with them, my life. But these precious seconds are the lifetime. Show them, Arsene, how a French gentleman in love behaves.
And continue to amuse yourself.
Your Majesty, are you going to...
Hush up, you impudent plodders. Who do you think you are to speak in my presence without having been asked? Look at you, a bunch of incompetents, covered in titles and stripes. You are supposed to guarantee my safety and that of England, which amounts to the same thing. In the end, I had to defend the place myself.
But, Your Majesty...
Suffice. Even the most compassionate of monarchs cannot be permitted to excuse the vermin. Chauncey, have the royal luggage prepared. We will withdraw to Windsor presently. Leomunda, you will accompany me. And you, silence this bell before I have an overwhelming urge to decapitate it.
You and I, Lupin.
Okay.
Elementary. This is how Lupin vanished. Here I am in the cellar of Buckingham Palace. All of these odds and ends must represent what remains of the sumptuous gifts given to the crown throughout centuries.
Okay, can we find some cultic stuff?
This organ is dilapidated. The ground here is slightly sloped. The ground here is slightly sloped. Traces of moisture. Lupin. Lupin must have hooked the lock, but it closed behind him. This grill isn't... Nothing special here. This organ is dilapidated, but the steel tubes are made of a resistant metal. Nothing special here. Lupin must have hooked the lock. Nothing special here. Lupin must have hooked the lock, but it closed. You and I, Lupin. It's done now, but Lupin knows that someone is after him now. Lupin, he's there. These shanks are from the lock. The opening mechanism of this grip.
You gotta be shitting me. 12 plus. Shit. What is L? I forgot. 50? Easy.
Open. Nothing special here.
I would even say elementary.
All of these objects are ancient. They must be from the Norman era. Closed. This part is in poor condition. The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy and seems quite sturdy. This may prove to be useful. This may prove to be useful. I must have made a mistake. Time to think. I must have made a mistake. Time to think. I must have made a mistake.
What?
Closed. 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 I must have made a mistake. Time to think. No, I can't do that. I must have made a mistake. Time to think. I must have made a
Are you
mistake.
shitting me?
Time to... No, I can't do that. 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 The bow of this Norman longship. I must have made a mistake. Closed. I must have made a mistake. I must have made a mistake. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy.
You gotta gotta be shitting me.
No, I can't do that. I must have made a mistake. Elementary.
You gotta be shitting me. Too easy.
I came down a level. I must find a way to get back up.
What?
This bagpipe is capable of releasing air under great pressure. That can surely be a... This collection of costumes is magnificent. All are in excellent condition. Nothing special here. This may prove to be useful. These footprints are too blurred to gain any information. It's part of an Indian totem. It's part of an Indian totem. It's part of an Indian totem. Nothing special here. It's part of an Indian totem. These footprints are too blurred to gain any... there is something here.
No shit.
Nothing special here. It's part of an Indian totem. I must put these pieces on the ground. I must put these pieces on the... It's part of an Indian totem. It's part of an Indian totem. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I must put these pieces on the ground in... I must put these pieces on the ground.
Fuck off.
No, I can't do that. I must put these pieces on the ground in order to better piece this totem. I must put these pieces on the ground in order... No, I can't do that. I must put these pieces on the ground. It's part of an Indian totem.
Oh.
Elementary.
Too easy.
Elementary. Open.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
This may prove to be useful. I need something. I need something. I need something. This may prove to be useful. Nothing special here.
Oh, fuck no.
I need something. 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 I came down a level. I must find a way to get back up.
He's shitting me.
I came down a level. I must find a way to get back up. With this system, I can see how the rope is attached.
I need something. Open.
Safe to say too easy. Okay, what does this mean?
A new message. What now?
He's a lover of Queen of England.
Her Majesty is nevertheless safe. It wasn't without difficulty, but I managed to get her to accept a triple retinue. It's strange, but something has changed in her since this incident. After her understandable anger, she seemed incredibly serene, even playful. I've never seen her like that. When I left her, she was dreamy. Regardless, nothing happened to her, and that's all that matters to us. I have placed an additional 12 of our best agents amongst the staff at her country residence. My goodness! Intruding into Buckingham Palace like that! That Frenchman isn't lacking in daring, and all for nothing, it would appear.
How is that? Lupin went through all that trouble without succeeding? Perhaps this will put an end to all this folly.
If we are to believe the calling card that Lupin left for me in the basement at Buckingham, it would appear he accomplished his aim, although he didn't specify what that was. Furthermore, he seems determined to bring this whole enterprise to completion and commit his last theft tonight. If he succeeds, we will have lost a fifth battle, and with it, the war. National humiliation is in the offing, our Waterloo.
Holmes, how can you be so defeatist? You haven't clearly explained how Lupin managed to escape from the Queen's bedchamber and the palace, but he seems to have had a fair bit of luck yet again. It can't last forever. In addition, we are English and must claim what is rightfully ours.
Well put, Dr. Watson. As courageous as he is, I assure you he took nothing from his quick pass through the Queen's bedchamber. Either way, there was nothing to take. The bedchamber, like Her Majesty's lavatory, are models of austerity. As for the crown jewels and other adornments, they can be found in a steel cage at the other end of London. Lupin is nothing but a braggart, a trite cat burglar who got incredibly lucky and will soon find himself shackled at the ankles and wrists in one of the dankest cells at Dartmoor. Tell me, Dr. Watson, what do these phrases mean, and where must we go in order to put an end to this masquerade?
There it is, I'm certain.
Hurrah, Doctor! Quickly, there isn't a second to lose. The whole of the police force will join us there. Here, we are in place. Inspector, have you checked the plan?
Affirmative, Prime Minister. Half of Scotland Yard is in the building. The other half is spread out over the vicinity with mobile patrols. No one can pass unseen.
Perfect, gentlemen. There's nothing else to do but wait.
This will be our revenge.
The merit belongs to you, dear Doctor. You will have the honor of bringing the news of our triumph to Her Majesty.
Thank you. But we cannot forget Holmes, who...
By the by, where is he?
He preferred to remain at Baker Street. I think he is somewhat vexed that I was able to resolve the affair without him.
We wouldn't be mollycoddling Holmes.
Too bad for him. He'll learn of Lupin's capture through the papers.
Ahem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lupin is certainly making us wait. It's already been 4 hours that...
Enough, Lestrade, enough. I know how to count.
Listen. Shh.
What?
I hear a noise. Like a motor. A small motor.
Well, you have a good ear, because I don't hear anything with this cursed tick-tock.
Shh. Keep quiet. There is a strange noise, I tell you.
It's true. It's behind the door. Quick, Lestrade, it's him.
It's Lupin. What can he be up to?
Watch out! I'm going to open the door. I'll see.
So, Inspector?
What are you doing? Wake up, you lot of bunglers! It was nothing, just the snores of the men on duty.
Bravo, Lestrade. You keep your men in line.
You ought to congratulate Dr. Watson. A bit more, and it would have been the longest police hideout of all time.
Calm, gentlemen. Calm. Lupin won't be long now.
The fuck?
Her Majesty is nevertheless safe. It wasn't without difficulty, but I managed to get her to accept a triple retinue. It's strange, but something has changed in her since this incident. After her understandable anger, she seemed incredibly serene, even playful. I've never seen her like that. When I left her, she was dreamy. Regardless, nothing happened to her, and that's all that matters to us. I have placed an additional 12 of our best agents amongst the staff at her country residence. My goodness! Intruding into Buckingham Palace like that! That Frenchman isn't lacking in daring, and all for nothing, it would appear.
How is that? Lupin went through all that trouble without succeeding? Perhaps this will put an end to all this folly.
If we are to believe the calling card that Lupin left for me in the basement at Buckingham, it would appear he accomplished his aim, although he didn't specify what that was. Furthermore, he seems determined to bring this whole enterprise to completion and commit his last theft tonight. If he succeeds, we will have lost a fifth battle, and with it, the war. National humiliation is in the offing. Our Waterloo.
Holmes, how can you be so defeated?
Well,
Oh, wait.
Perhaps here, at the Tower of London.
My dear Watson.
I should point out, Doctor, that Lupin has already been there.
That's true. But the message in the card... I've got it! He entered by dint of a clock in a great palace of stone. He is going to a location that is a bit of both. A great clock made out of stone. Big Ben!
My word, Dr. Watson, you are correct. I will immediately summon all of London's police force in order to set a trap around Big Ben. You are both to join me in an hour. Tonight will be a big night, my fellow compatriots. A night for victory over the French, who are...
Ah, Holmes, I no longer feel tired all of a sudden. The prospect of Lupin's capture has ignited me. Indeed, I have the wherewithal too. I caught you unawares on the last riddle, didn't I, Holmes? Well, Holmes?
Quite true, Watson, quite true.
I will have Mrs. Hudson prepare us a little refreshment that will tide us through the night. It promises to be long and exciting. Meeting the Prime Minister at Big Ben. I am sure that...
You will have to give my apologies to the Prime Minister, as I won't be joining you this evening.
But Holmes, tonight we are going to catch the most notorious thief in all of Europe. We will win the final victory, the one which will win the war. We will reclaim England's honour and without fail get our hands back on the Fighting Temeraire, the Six Ravens and the Rosetta Stone. You would miss all?
These last few days have been trying, Watson. In any event, what purpose would I serve? You're the one who solved the riddle of the card, correct?
Enough, Holmes. When you aren't in the limelight, you behave like a selfish boor. A vexation, and you act like a spoilt child. In that case, I will go alone to catch Lupin, and I swear I will not record this installment of your adventures. You are pitiful.
My dear Watson was, unwittingly, very close to the truth. I believe it is indeed the Tower of London where Lupin will go tonight. Let's go see.
Okay, back here. Meanwhile,
Here, we are in place. Inspector, have you checked the plan?
Affirmative, Prime Minister. Half of Scotland Yard is in the building.
Perfect.
This will be
The merry...
Thank you.
By the by, where is he?
He preferred to remain at Baker Street. I think he is somewhat vexed that I was able to...
We wouldn't be...
Too bad.
we saw that
If I'm
already.
mistaken, I'll be the only one to know. However, if I am correct, Lupin has very little lead on me, and will remain unaware of my... He's alive and doesn't seem hurt. This man was certainly put to sleep by a strong sedative. There is no longer any doubt. Lupin is here, and there's no question what he has come to steal. What is his The name Schick is in... There, some cartridges aren't. This sidearm was submerged in water and... Lupin must have installed this rope in order to take the maximum number of objects out of the Tower of London without having to transport them. Think, if I want to catch Lupin and be assured that he hasn't been able to remove the jewels before that time, I must prevent him from using this rope without him noticing.
What a mastermind. Why can't they climb? Oh, fuck off.
Closed. This rope is very high. Without the keychain, I cannot get up to the ramparts, and scaling the wall in this rain will prove... This rope is very high. This rope is very high.
Bullshit. Well, let's see if I can climb there. I can't. Let's save just in case.
Closed. Closed.
Bullshit.
This water is asleep. The name and... there is something here. There seems to be a little bit of green paint on the right hand. This water is asleep. This print on the ground suggests that someone had a head. It's Chief Wardersmith's hat. Someone was dragged to the door of the... Someone was dragged to the door of the storeroom. Closed.
Okay, this one's alive.
How are you, Warder?
Hickman.
Are you injured?
No, but I have a headache. I feel sleepy.
Wake up. Where's Chief Warder Smith?
He left with the doctor into the storeroom.
The storeroom is locked. Who possesses a key?
Smith and the cook, but he is out.
Who else? Speak, Warder.
Fatty Johnson, in his locker, a duplicate which he stole.
I must leave. Bide your time until I return.
This may prove to be useful. This bed is dusty. I must not... Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
This uniform seems to be made for a child.
Take it.
Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Two hot air balloons in solidarity. The inertia. Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Closed. This door is solid. The lock... It must be the guard's cloakroom. This door is solid. The lock... This door is solid. The lock is rather...
Meanwhile,
Ahem. Well, Lupin...
Enough, listen.
What? Well,
It's true.
what? What are you... It was nothing, just the snow. You ought to
Come.
This is, without a doubt, a freshly combed moustache hair. This door is solid. The lock... This door is solid. The lock is rather ancient. Green paint. This door is solid. The lock is rather ancient. It's typical Scottish material. There is a kilt inside this locker. There is a stool here, possibly for helping the owner of this locker.
the fuck?
This door is solid. The lock is... This door is solid. This door is solid. The lock... This door is solid. The lock is... This door is solid. This door is solid. The lock is right. This door is solid. The lock is... This door is solid. The lock... This door is solid. The lock is rather ancient, and each locker has... This door is solid. The lock is...
Oh, here, total bullshit.
Elementary.
Legendary.
This door is solid. The lock is rather ancient, and each locker has a different lock. If I want to open one in... This door is solid. The lock is rather... This door is solid. The lock is...
Okay, we'll have to find something.
Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Oh, interesting. I missed this somehow.
Open.
I'm taking whatever might be useful. I'm taking whatever might be useful. This may prove to be useful. This may prove to be useful.
What kind of glitch is this? fucking glitch. Okay. This shit actually works. Great.
Certainly a gift for a child. Roller skates. Certainly a gift for a child. Roller skates. I will have enough gunpowder to blast open one locker. I must be sure of which one.
Easy.
Open. This haggis is fresh and supple. Perhaps it is meant for the cook in order. This must be the key to the store.
Nailed it. But maybe we'll have to go back and try to cut the ropes. Fuck off.
Closed.
Let me just remember where that was. Here. Yeah, the problem was I can't go upstairs.
Smith looks to be unconscious. Is there a chance of waking him up? The lock of the grill has been changed, and I can no longer open it. The lock of the grill has been changed. Smith looks to be unconscious. Smith looks to be unconscious. Is there a chance of...
Maybe we...
Smith looks to be unconscious. Smith looks to be unconscious. Is there a chance... Smith looks to be unconscious.
Fuck.
Smith looks to be unconscious. Smith looks to be unconscious. Is there... Water.
You gotta be shitting me.
That's it. Hickman fell asleep quite gradually, probably under the effect...
Smith, wake up. Do you hear me, Smith? It's Holmes.
My head. What's going on? What am I doing here? Mr. Holmes? Where is the doctor?
Listen, Smith, pull yourself together and come here. Can you open this grill?
My keychain has disappeared. No, I can't open it. After you came through the other day, the cook insisted on changing the lock. It now needs a key.
Fine. In that case, I'll need your help. We'll need to find a way to get you out of there. Foremost, you must precisely recount the events of the night. And who is the doctor you speak of?
Well, early in the afternoon, the few men who were still present in the rampart were taken sick, with awful stomach aches. Must have been something in yesterday's meal. I don't digest tomatoes well, so I didn't eat, and I felt fine. Our usual doctor was absent, so I had to call a doctor in the area, Dr. Cernin. He hasn't been around for long, but I've heard good things about him. In examining the first man, he appeared alarmed and insisted on treating them with injections. We checked on all of the guards and he treated them all, The last to be treated was Hickman. The doctor was vexed, as he didn't have enough medication to administer a full dose, but he assured me it would be enough. Afterwards, he asked if we had seen all of the men in the garrison, which was affirmative. He asked me to accompany him to the postern, and I had hardly turned when I felt a sharp pain at the base of my head. I don't remember anything else.
I am beginning to see. What medication did he administer?
I really don't know. An empty vial fell into a puddle, and I picked it up.
The label is damaged and the water would have washed out any remaining substance. Impossible to tell what it held.
But what are you doing here? Can you explain what's going on?
I assume that the guards who are watching the crown jewels were also attended to.
Yes, and the only key leading to that room is on my chain.
I must help you out of here. Is there another key to this grill?
The cook has one, but he's out. However, I think I had a spare key to the guardroom maid, and it wasn't on my chain. You might just find something there that will get me out of here, or capture the person responsible for all of this.
Weapon room. That was where? No. It was here, I think.
Closed.
Damn, where the fuck it was? Oh, here, yeah.
This liquid has a strong smell. Certainly a petrol derivative.
This dish is empty, but might work.
Perhaps I'd be able to find something useful in this case, but it is locked. Perhaps I'd be able to find... This helmet stand is quite singular, sturdy. Small, dry pieces of wood.
This served to store the exact...
Oh, we haven't been here before.
It's the door of the Queen's jewel house, and it is quite solid. Was that the sound of a saw from behind the door? Lupin could be finished at his work. If I am to believe the tag on his uniform, this warder is called Summerby. Apparently... Look, this warder must have lost this key in falling. The interior diameter of this cannon is
Nailed.
This may prove to be useful. This may prove to be useful.
Okay, many stuff.
I must burn the rope that Lupin strung between the jewel house and the exterior. Otherwise he will escape that way. Quickly, time is pressing.
Okay. Air balloon ready for use.
I must burn the rope that Lupin strung between the jewel house and the exterior. Otherwise... This rope is very high. I must burn the rope that Lupin strung between the jewel house and the exterior. Otherwise he will escape that way. Quickly!
Anything useful here?
Get me out of...
The lock of the grill has been changed. The lock of the grill has been changed.
Get me out of here.
Take this file into all that I could find. Is there any way to enter the jewel house without a key?
No, not without a cannon at least.
In that case, I'll have to find one.
You are kidding, I'm sure.
I would not trifle with such a serious matter as this.
The munitions are found in the armory at the top of the staircase heading to the White Tower, the central tower. Apart from the one on my keychain, the other key is found in one of the service buildings, and it will be far too complicated to tell you how to locate it.
Pray, release yourself as quickly as possible. Go find the key and open the door of the armory for me. I will join you there. Is that your scarf over there? Can you please pass it to me?
My daughter just finished knitting it.
She should start knitting another, because before entering the jewel house, I must block Lupin's retreat.
Okay.
This cannon is heavy, but I will be able to push it. I will need to find a way to move it to the... This cannon is heavy. The interior diameter of this cannon...
Shut up.
This cannon is heavy, but I will be... This cannon is heavy, but I will be able... This cannon is heavy. It's the door of the Queen's... This cannon is heavy, but I... This cannon is heavy, but I will be able to push... This cannon is heavy, but I will be able to...
Shit.
This cannon is heavy, but I... This cannon is heavy, but I... This cannon is heavy, but I will be able... This cannon is heavy. This cannon is heavy, but I... This cannon is heavy. This cannon is heavy, but I will...
You gotta be shitting me. bullshit.
I must burn the rope that Lupin strung between the jewel house. This rope is very high.
The fuck?
Closed.
Where's this faggot?
Certainly a gift for a child.
Roller skates.
Take it.
This may prove to be useful. This lamp has a funny shape.
Okay. We have 2 balloons now. And this faggot is not here.
This cannon is heavy. I must release my hot air balloons in. This cannon is heavy, but
Okay. Let's try now this.
I must burn the rope that Lupin... I will ignite my balloons as soon as I release them. Watch out, they're off. The rope must have been somewhat damaged to no longer be able to support a heavy load. Let's see if Smith has been able to get out and find the key to the arsenal.
Finally, you're here.
I've been working as quickly as I could, but my old arms have been shaking like leaves with the effort.
While I'm taking care of the robber, you'll need to get to the base of Big Ben in order to find one of the officers thereabouts, because I don't think you'll find another in the whole of London.
But what are they doing there? Enough already. Enough. Minister. Where is he then, this Lupin? Does he think I have nothing better to do?
I've just done my round. You wouldn't believe, but there's a mob of journalists down there.
Well, that takes the biscuit.
It's not surprising. Half the force has been kicking their heels in front of Big Ben for the past 8 hours. It couldn't go unnoticed forever.
Journalists? A mob? Yes, but of course.
What now, Doctor?
Inspector, check the identities of the journalists. Lupin has previously disguised as a journalist, and I'm sure it was he who alerted them in order to create a diversion and slip in.
Well played, Doctor. I'm on it. At last, some action.
Lupin has previously disguised himself as a journalist, did you say? When was this then, Doctor?
This may prove to be useful. Curious, one of these This thick cover could support a very... These cannonballs are very heavy. I can only take one at a... These cannonballs are very... These cannonballs are very heavy. I can only...
No.
These cannonballs are very heavy. These cannonballs are very heavy. These cannonballs are very heavy.
This one.
A small barrel of powder.
That's it. We have everything, I think.
Now I can push it to the door of the jewel house. The stairs are preventing me from getting past. How can I mount them with my artillery? I need something. I need something. I need something.
Bullshit, wait.
The stairs are preventing me from getting past. How can I mount them? It's the door of the Queen's jewel house. I need something. There, the door's dismantled. Now I must... There, the door is dismantled. Now I must find the appropriate location where I should place it. No, the door will be of little use here. No, the door will be of little... Elementary. There, now I am in firing position, and there's nothing more to do but load this...
Let's say just in case.
I must decant the proper amount of powder into this receptacle and pour it into the cannon.
Elementary. There, now I am in firing position. I need something. There, now I am in fire. I need something. There, now I am in firing position, and I need something.
Is he shooting me?
Elementary. Elementary. There, now I am in fire. I need something.
If I were you, Lupin, I wouldn't take that path. As you can surmise by the plumes of smoke emanating from the rope originating from this window, it, let's say, suffered by my hand, and there is no chance that it will support your weight nor the items that I imagine you to be carrying.
You impress me, Mr. Holmes. You see, I concocted this plan with such thoroughness and, I'm sure you'll agree, a fair amount of genius, such that I was saddened that none would see it as I brought it to fruition. And yet, there you were from the first. A bit too close for comfort, wasn't it? And if you are here, it's because you must have searched, and most certainly found all of the parts of the puzzle, down to the smallest detail. And I can't but congratulate you on your performance. I am a gentleman, Mr. Holmes, and even if I didn't always show good sportsmanship during this adventure, my sense of honor obliges me to acknowledge your victory tonight. As someone who never knew defeat before meeting you, I would like to express my admiration and how honored I am that you not only played this game with me, but won also.
You should, Monsieur Lupin, understand that I share your admiration and know that if you're giving me the honor of the victory tonight, it was yours the last 4 times.
Your intelligence has no equal apart from your sense of chivalry, Mr. Holmes. You know as well as I do, those were but a few minor obstructions, and whoever wins the final battle takes the war.
Despite everything, our camp suffered some losses, the gravity of which could have been fatal if they had been made public. No one, myself included, would have come out of a Pyrrhic victory unscathed.
I betrayed myself by doing anything that could have harmed your reputation. I am duty-bound to you, Mr. Holmes, and I will accept your conditions, even if they dishonor me, as long as they don't dishonor my country.
You managed, thanks to your remarkable intelligence, to deny me any margin of maneuverability, to decide in advance should we find ourselves in the situation in which we are. It was a chess match, and there is nothing remaining on the table but the 2 kings. This is a classic stalemate, wouldn't you agree?
You will find at this address a master's painting, a great rock, and a few birds. As for what Her Majesty wished for me, I had no choice but to give it to her at that very instant. Once again, I am at a loss for words to express the pleasure that I took from this adventure with you. Even if it costs me, I promise, on my honor, that I will never publicize the account of what took place.
We shall not meet again, my friend, but know that during the past few days, your presence in our soil did as much honor to your country as ours. Safe journey, Monsieur Lupin.
What? You'll let him leave like that?
What choice did I have, Watson? Look at the whole picture. Lupin's real intent was to steal the crown jewels. The goal of all the other thefts was to provide a sort of insurance in the case of failure, and, above all, to ensure the services of a plethora of accomplices. Us.
Us? Accomplices? I admit that I was fooled once, but I didn't steal anything.
From the moment we read Lupin's first letter, we became his accomplices. In fact, by having us play his game, Lupin was conditioning us. After the first theft, he left clues leading us to the second, from the second to the third. So well that as the second to last theft, we were convinced that Lupin's final target would be Big Ben. Lupin knew that the authorities, headed by the Prime Minister himself, would align themselves with the only person who could sort out Lupin's schemes as they happened. Myself. Therefore, in controlling me, he was controlling all of London's police force, and he nearly succeeded.
Then why not simply steal the jewels to begin with? Why this whole masquerade?
I've just explained it, Watson. In order to steal the crown jewels, Lupin had to accomplish certain preliminaries. In the first place, he had to be assured that the garrison would be only minimally guarded on the night of the theft. Therefore, he started using a disguise, of course, by getting rid of the garrison's usual doctor, by giving him a free trip to the continent. He also befriended the cook under another identity, while the cook was out on the town. Thus, he was able to suggest a specific recipe for a specific date, the eve of the jewel theft. Then he went to nab the ravens. The effects of this theft permitted him to first create an inauspicious event that forced a reduction in the size of the garrison so that the news wouldn't spread. Second, to have access to the storeroom in order to poison the tomatoes that were going to be used in the recipe that he gave to the cook. Third, to pose as Paul Cernine, that doctor who would be called in the case of emergency. Fourth, given that a theft had already taken place at the Tower of London, we would have had to have bats in the belfry to think that there would be another. Lupin also needed to get the police out of the area, which happened as I already explained.
I understand, but what of the other thefts?
A part of the process of conditioning, they caused us to put little weight on the theft in the Tower of London. If that had been the only prelude, we would have taken more time to ponder the clues and find Lupin's true intentions. Yet this time he didn't leave it up to us, and so, like I told you, these thefts were his insurance. Lupin had beaten us 4 times on the battlefield of English honour, such as he had suggested to us in his letter. Our pride in not bringing our defeats public was our sin, and it made us prisoners of his game. If he had proven beaten, he could have profited from the restitution of the objects, the price of his silence regarding our failures, and the true value of our police. A discreet release was a small price to pay with regards to an affront of international scope. Do not forget that the Queen herself is implicated.
Indeed. It is, moreover, a matter of conscience for me. When I write this adventure, I do not think I...
But there's no question, Watson. You cannot write about it. You promised before God that you wouldn't.
But, Holmes...
Your word is your bond. In any case, you wouldn't want to relate the ignoble theft that you committed, that of my Order of the Legion of Honor.
Holmes, you know that.
It's in the past, Watson. It's in the past. Incidentally, a young woman came by to return it a few moments ago. She wanted to deliver it to you directly. She seemed to know you well. A young woman who can be found at the Golden Lion, am I right? She doesn't seem like your usual client, unless, of course, you were the client in this case. What do you say, Watson?
Okay, we totally nailed it. So, we're starting tomorrow next one.